Thanks for checking out the Man Within podcast. You're watching a short form series of videos called 5 Minutes or Less, where we focus on improving ourselves in 5 minutes or less. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today we're working on improving how we treat others. How we treat others is a reflection of how we treat and feel about ourselves. No one will ever say or do anything to you that doesn't in some way reflect how they feel about themselves. If you see someone loving life, loving who they are, embracing who they are, and finding the joy out of everything, and your first instinct is to point out the one flaw or fault or something they can't change about themselves, that says a lot more about you than it does them. The person that spends all their energy bringing attention to the one flaw or fault that they think someone else has is using that same energy to try to hide the flaw or fault they feel about themselves. They mistakenly believe that somehow pointing out the flaw in someone else is going to hide the flaw they feel about themselves. And the belief that you have some flaw or fault about yourself, that's not even a true belief. That was placed on you by someone else who mistakenly believed the same thing. But the fact is, that flaw that you feel about yourself, it doesn't leave you until you decide to break it. Even when you try to cut someone else down, even when you try to bring to light 100 bad things in a sea of 1,000 good things, it doesn't leave you until you decide to break it. At the end of the day, you're never alone. You're either sitting with the weak, insecure version of yourself or the strong, confident one who loves himself and enjoys himself and embraces the faults and flaws. And the one you choose to spend the most time with is the one that you become. And who you become is who you give to the world. What you hold inside is what you spread to the world. Someone who's confident and secure about themselves and embraces themselves even with all the faults and flaws, that is never a person who's going to point out the faults and flaws of someone else, because they're not going to see them as faults and flaws. They're going to see them as the beautiful gift given to each and every one of us by God. A person who's confident and secure within themselves sees those faults and flaws within themselves as an individual gift to spread to the world. The person who's confident and secure about themselves understands that each individual person has gifts. While it may seem weird or unordinary to you, that is actually a gift, and there's good purpose for it. So a person who's confident and secure about themselves knows what their gift is and spends their time helping others find their own. And what you give to the world is generally what you get back, sometimes tenfold. Imagine your life if you only spread good. Imagine this world if you spent all of your time spreading good to as many people as you could. Imagine if everyone around you knew their gifts and embraced them because you were the one to help them find it. There's a lot of good that can come from a single compliment. And there's a lot to be said about the person who spends all their time finding the faults of others. So think about the type of person you want to be, and how you treat others will help you get there.